Now, before starting this formulas and functions, the most important part is the cell referencing. आप लोगों ने सुना है सेल रेफरेंसिंग? सेल रेफरेंसिंग, व्हाट इज सेल रेफरेंसिंग? डॉलर, हैव यू पुट डॉलर बिफोर द फॉर्मुलाज? कभी किया होगा शायद आप लोगों ने. डॉलर, डॉलर साइन with the formulas. Let us see how to use dollar and what is the purpose of this. एक बार देखते हैं. So there are majorly three types of cell referencing. Three types of cell referencing. The first one is the absolute, then relative, then mixed. So let us see. So referencing, नाम से क्या लग रहा है? What is referencing? Only referencing. Anybody? Particular cell, किसी चीज को रेफर करना, to refer something is known as referencing. Let us see. Suppose I have written Excel. Now I wanted to pick this Excel into this cell. So I wanted to refer this one. So this is coming as Excel. So whenever I'm going to change the data, let's say I'm going to use Word. So it will pick the word. So I have referred to this cell. So this is known as cell referencing. Now, whenever we are going to write a formula or copy paste formula, work with the formula. So there are three types of referencing that we have to understand. So let's take an example. Suppose this is the area or this is the cell where we wanted to take the exact value that is in this cell. Means I wanted this word in each of this cell. So what we can do equals to this one. After that, whenever I'm going to copy this one, Control V. So this is coming as 0, 0, 0. Let us see. कैसे कर सकते हैं? So whenever I'm going to refer to this one, so this is coming as equals to J4, where J is the column number and 4 is the row number. J is the column number and 4 is the row number. Whenever I'm going to copy this data, so this is moving. This is showing J5. This is showing J6. This is showing J7, J8, J9. Similarly, in the case of columns also, this is showing J4. This is showing J4. This is showing K4. This is showing L4. Means wherever I'm moving from rows, from one row to another row, the referencing is also moving from the source. And if I'm going to move from one column to another column, so the referencing is also moving. But in this case, I don't want to move the reference. I wanted the value from J4 only. So J and 4 both needs to be fixed. Both needs to be freezed. So to freeze or fix, what we have to do? We have to put dollar before a particular parameter. If I'm going to put dollar before J, अगर J के पहले dollar लगाएंगे, then J is fixed. If I'm going to put dollar before J, means J is fixed. Similarly, if I'm going to put dollar before 4, then 4 is fixed. So I have to prefix a dollar to fix that particular either row or column. And the shortcut is F4. Whenever I'm going to select this one, after that we can press F4. F1, F2, F4, F3, F4 है ना, F4 की function की, तो I can use F4. जैसे F4 press करेंगे, so I'll be getting this one. I can toggle, तो ये F4 होता रहेगा. So first time whenever I'm going to press F4, so this is showing like this. So either we can write dollar manually or we can just use F4 to place the dollar. Now what we can do, I can copy this formula. Control V. Now this is coming the exact data जो यहाँ पर है. If I'm going to change back to Excel, then it's giving me the right data. So this is I'm getting the value from J. This is J4 only. J4 only, like this. So this referencing is known as absolute referencing, where both column and row are fixed. So when both row and column are fixed, this referencing is known as absolute referencing. This is clear, everybody. So in this case, I have freezed both row and column using dollar. So I have to place the dollar before that particular parameter. Now let us take another example. एक और example cover करते हैं. A, B, C, D. Now this is the data, and I wanted to pick the data into this one. मुझे क्या चाहिए? I wanted this A to be placed here, this B to be placed here. So this is very simple to identify that where we need to place the dollar. कोई बता सकते हैं what is common in this range? Row is common or column is common in this range? Row or column is common. Column is changing. First we have C column, then D column, then E column, then F column. But row is common. Row is fixed. Right. So row is fixed means I have to place dollar before row equals to this one, which is showing C21. So before 21, I have to place the dollar, not before C. Let us see. Control C, Control V. Now this is coming as A, B, C, D. Whenever I'm going to change the data, so the entire column will be changed. This is clear. So this is the referencing where we have only fixed the row. Row is fixed. Okay, let's take another example. एक और example लेते हैं. So if I'm going to write this, let's take an example of this one. A, B, C, D. Now I wanted the value into this one. यहाँ पर मुझे value चाहिए. I wanted A here, B in this one, C in this one, and D. So what is common, row or column? Let us check. एक बार समझते हैं. Equals to this one. So B is common. Now this is saying A, B, C, D. So here A, B, if I'm going to change it to something, so the entire row will be changed. So both this referencing are known as mixed referencing, where either row or column, any one of them is fixed. Now let us move into the last. कोई बता सकते हैं what is the remaining one? We have fixed both row and column, that is absolute referencing, and in this case we have fixed either row or column. Now what could be the third one? Third scenario क्या हो सकता है? Third scenario could be nothing is fixed. कोई कुछ भी fixed नहीं है. Nothing is fixed. Right. Let us see. So the default one जो पहले था, if I'm going to move into the rows, so the rows is moving. If I'm going to move into the column, then column is moving. Right. Let us see. So कुछ numbers लिख लेता हूं मैं. Now in this one, I wanted the total. This plus this. मतलब cell by cell I wanted the total. So equals to this plus this. Now if I am going to copy and paste, so the position would be moved relatively. This is giving me the sum for this one. This is giving me the sum for this one. मतलब कोई भी dollar नहीं है. If no dollar is there, then this referencing is known as relative referencing. This is my source and this is my source. Clear? All the three referencing are clear. See what we have done. We have done the total of only the first, right? First cell. Now, whenever I'm going to copy and paste it into the rest of the cells, so the position is moving relatively. Okay. Position is moving relatively. This is clear? चलिए. Let us see the formulas. अब start करते formulas. Now, so we are going to start with and or not. So and or not and are three logical functions. Anybody? Can you tell me what is logical function? Logical function किसे बोलते हैं? What are logical functions? where the result is either true or false. All those functions are known as logical functions. Example, if, and, not, or, all these functions are known as logical functions, right? So this one. So here we are going to see and or not. यहाँ पर हम तीन functions को देखेंगे, and or not, and these three functions are logical functions. Means the result would be either true or false. Let us take an example. In case of and, if all the conditions are true, अगर सारे conditions true होंगे, if all the conditions are true, then and will give true result. And if any of the conditions are false, then and will give false result. Means if all the conditions are true, then and will give true. If any of those conditions are false, कोई भी एक अगर false मिल जाए, कोई भी, then the final result would be false. Let's take an example. These are the students, and these are the scores out of 100, which is 88, 88 and 97. These are the three subjects. Now I wanted to just check whether all the subjects are greater than 90 or not. The scores of all the subjects would be greater than 90. Principal has asked to basically identify those students जिनके scores, सारे scores 90 से ज़्यादा है. If all the scores are greater than 90, then we have to check this condition. So equals to and. This is the logical one, means first condition. So this is greater than equals to 90. It will also include 90. Right, अगर 90 भी चाहिए. In this case, let us take 90. Greater than 90 means 91. Comma. This is greater than 90. Comma. This is greater than 90. Bracket close. Enter. So it is giving me false. Now this is giving us true result. B. So B, 91, 92, and 99. So all the scores are greater than 90. That's the reason the final result is true. This is clear. We have used and we have checked for three conditions. तीन conditions को हमने check किया. चलिए. Now the next condition. Now the management is saying that we wanted to check the students where at least one score is greater than 90. I have to check for those students at least one score should be greater than 90. So what we are going to use, and या or में क्या होते हैं? If any of the conditions are true, if I passed 10 conditions, अगर उसमें से कोई भी एक condition true मिल गया, if one of the conditions are true, then the final result would be true. And if all the conditions are false, then only it will give false result. कोई भी एक true मिल जाएगा. If any of the conditions are true, the final result would be true. And if all the conditions are false, then only the final result will be false. So let us check. Equals to or. This is greater than 90, comma. This is greater than 90, comma. This is greater than 90. Now let us drag this one. Now we have all true except this D. In D, all the scores are less than 90. देखो सारे scores 90 से कम हैं. So that's the reason the final result is false. Else A, B and C, at least one score is greater than 90. कोई भी एक score 90 से ज़्यादा है. So if I wanted to understand that in case of and, true कब आएगा? All true. In case of all true, and will give true result. Any false, it will give false result. In case of or, any true, कोई भी एक true मिलेगा, it will give true, and all false. So this is the matrix for and or. Now, how many conditions we can use? We have used three conditions in both and or. So how many conditions can we use? Anybody? कोई बता सकते हैं कितना conditions हो सकता है? I get 255 conditions. We can use 255 conditions. 255 ना एक्सेल में एक कॉमन एक फिगर है 255. ये बेसिकली बिट्स और बाइट्स का बेसिकली कॉन्फ़िगरेशन होता है जो स्टार्टिंग से किया हुआ है. 255 ही होता है स्टार्टिंग से यही है बिल्कुल. 255 मिलेगा या तो कहीं पर 64 मिलेगा जैसे बिट्स होते हैं ना वैसे ही आपको मिलेगा. बेसिस पे दिस आर डिजाइन. सो इन केस ऑफ और एंड 255 and most of the functions have 255 parameters. अब 255 कहां से दिखेगा? मैंने तो बता दिया कि 255. Now you have to reconfirm. Let us see where can we check that we have 255 parameters. So I'm going to double click on any formula. There is an fx button here. मैं fx में क्लिक करूंगा. Now it's asking, यहां पर देख रहे हो, लॉजिकल 1 to 255 conditions. 1 से लेके 255 conditions you want to check. Now there is a help on this function. There is a separate link help on this function. Let us click. Now you will be getting online help. ये Microsoft, this is Microsoft site. You will be getting more examples on AND. देख रहे हो, more examples on AND. This one. So this you can use as a companion site. यहाँ पर जाके आप देख सकते हो, the function that we learn, उसको यहाँ पर जाके you can just check more examples on that one. So we can use 255 conditions in AND या OR. Clear everybody? This is clear. Now not is just the reverse of true. If I'm going to use true, so not of true is false, and if the result is false, then if I'm going to apply not, then the result would be true. So reverse कर देता, true को false and false को true. And this is used in some advanced scenarios. Normal scenarios में it's not used, right? But let us take the example. एक example देखते छोटा सा. Equals to 5 is greater than 2. This is true or false? बताइए. What is this? True or false? 5 is greater than true. 5 is greater than 2. True or false? True. This is giving us true. But if I'm going to use not in this case, not 5 is greater than 2. तो क्या आना चाहिए बताइए? False. So this is the format. But where can we use this function? We will see later on, because we are not going to cover the example of not as on this one, because not is a supporting function. This is used with some other function that we'll see later on. आगे जाके देखेंगे. But the format is simple. This is converting from true to false and false to true. Clear? चलिए, let us move forward. आगे बढ़ते हैं. Now we are going to cover 3 functions in this sheet. Count A and count blank. Count A and count blank. Lots of communications. Right. So count A and count blank. So count is used to count numbers in a range. एक range में numbers है. So I wanted to count all the numbers. So we can use count function. Let us see. In the left side, we have multiple data. This is a text. These are the numbers. And I just wanted to calculate or count how many cells has numbers. Let us see. So there are 5 cells. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, and this is 5. 5 cells contains numbers. So count is used to count numbers in a range. Now let us see count A. Count A is used for count all. It will count everything, be it text, be it numbers, but it will not count the blank cells. Blank cells को count नहीं करेगा. Blank को छोड़ के everything it will count. एक बार देखते हैं. Let us see. Equals to count blank. Sorry, count A. So this is showing 11. 11 means these are the 8. Here this is 8. Not this is 8. This is 9. Count is 9, and here we have 2. So 9 plus 2, 11. Total cells are 12, out of which 1 is blank. So blank को नहीं दिखेगा. So this is showing 11. This is clear. Count and count A both. Now count blank. This is the function which is used to count blank cells in a range. एक range में जितने blank cells है, it will count. Let us see. Equals to count blank. So we can use like this. while writing the function, आपको कैसे करना, जैसे आपने लिख दिया count b, so now it's not mandatory, it's not required to write this one. You can just press the tab button. Tab button जैसे ही press करेंगे, it will be populating the entire function. वो पूरा दिख जाएगा. This one. So this is showing count blank. Now, so to calculate the text, we have used count a minus count. I don't want to do this. अब आप सोचो ना, जैसे स्टार्टिंग में we have said that count t या count text. If count text was the part, then it would be very much easier to calculate the text. But ऐसे है नहीं. The function is not directly available. We have to use count a minus count. Now what we can do, we can create functions. हम functions को create कर सकते हैं. How can we create a function? Any idea? So I'll show you one example that how can we create this formula. हालांकि macros is not the part of this training, but you will be able to understand that how macro works generally. कितना easy है और how we can automate the process. Let us see. I'll right click on this one. This is a view code. And whenever I'm going to click on view code, it's opening the editor window. This is known as Visual Basic. आपको करना नहीं है. I'm going to just show the options. एक मैं module insert कर लेता हूँ. Let us see. So I'm going to create a function. The name of the function, let's say I am going to use count text like this. Now bracket start. Now in case of any function that we are going to use, we have to pass something. जैसे हमने count use किया ना, count के अंदर में कुछ pass करना है. Now I am going to create this function. So I want user to pass something on this one. क्या pass करा सकते बताइए? What user can pass into this with count text so that I can calculate the count text? क्या मिलना चाहिए हमें to calculate the count text? Range, right? Range. So let us see x as range. मैंने x ले लिया एक range. Enter. Now let us write the logic. So count text, the value of count text equals to, बताइए क्या होगा? Count a minus count. तो count a is worksheet function या VBA का function? Count a किसका function है? Worksheet और VBA? Worksheet function dot count a. किसका count है? The range that user have passed. Now this is x, right? I wanted to calculate based on x now that user has passed. So x, count a of x minus worksheet function. Worksheet function dot count. The same logic that I have used here there. किसके count होंगे बताइए? X range. Yes, done. So this is the function that we have created. Now let us use this one. Let us close this. Equals to count text. Now this count text is appearing here. देखा आपने count text आ रहा है. This one. Count text A2 is to A13. Enter. Now this is giving me the exact same result that I have calculated with count a minus count. Yeah, count a minus count. Now this is count text. So this is the power of VBA. And I have used basic, ekdam very basic example. I have shown you. काफी basic example है. That's the example that we have covered right now, which is this one. Count a minus count. Simple function that I have created, which is this one. And with the help of this x that user has passed, I have calculated count text. This is clear, everybody. This is the power of VBA, power of programming.
Clear, sir.
Check. Now in the next class, we are going to cover this count if and ever, because these are the complex one. So एक एक करके करेंगे. Any